Yeah, he doesn't have it either, so I'll read my stuff and then I'll just hand it
Okay.
down.
That's fine. Let's save a
So,
tree.
yeah, so on the thing, you should have had you should have had a copy of the resolution. Everything was on the
Yeah,
drive.
yeah, he printed it all.
Okay.
Sometimes I get last week's appropriations though, but that's not the case here.
It is what it is today.
It is already here.
Okay. Are we ready, Don?
We're ready.
Okay.
Well,
Today is what, March? March 5th, yes. It's Tuesday, March 5th at 4:32, and we would like to open the Gott ditch hearing. Our first procedure is to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Riddell,
Here.
Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Hahn.
Here,
Today is the hearing on the Gott Ditch Drainage Improvement Project in Penfield Township. In accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 6117, Stormwater Management District submitted a project form for Gott Ditch Restoration in Penfield Township. This project will clear and grub along ditch from west side of State Route 301 at parcel 19/06/109/000/010 east along Gott Ditch to the Black River, removing sediment blockages accepted in the county engineer's plans to create positive drainage along the drainage way. The location of said project begins on parcel 19/06/109/000/010 and heads east along Gott Ditch to its termini, which enters the east bank of the Black River on parcel 19/06/003/000/011. Resolution 2481 adopted February 2nd, 2024 fixed the date of this hearing. February 9th of 2024, 7 certified letters were sent to the property owners, and February 12th and 20th, the publication was in the Chronicle Telegram.
Okay, as a matter of process today, for those who would like to speak, anybody would you please stand?
Stand and raise your right hand, please, if you're going to give any testimony today.
If you're going to give any testimony at all, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will be giving is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? And say, I do.
I do.
Excuse me, Mr. President, one thing. There is a sign form that I need everybody to sign that, please. Okay, thank you, Matt. Okay, that's it.
Okay, and for those that do speak, either grab the portable microphone or come to the the front so that the microphones can pick up the conversation and that we may see you as you speak. Mr. Romanchik.
Thank you, Board. President Riddell. The Gott Ditch is a project that was brought to us by the Township of Penfield and was actually originally identified exploring some flooding complaints on Curtis Ditch, which runs along the basically the same parallel, and we had some questions as to which way water would flow. So when we did some further investigation, we had determined that Gott Ditch, which flows east to the Black River, needed an extreme amount of work around 301, and as we further explored it, found that it was in need of a lot of work. The length of this is approximately 7,000 feet, so it's a substantial ditch. There are 9 parcels that it flows through from basically State Route 301 east to the Black River. Its drainage area is approximately 280 acres. Where did it go? Come on. All right, it's going to make me play. And I got to remind staff not to make it fancy for me. This is going to be funded by ARPA funds. So there is no cost to any of the property owners, both for the initial improvement or the ongoing maintenance. The ongoing maintenance shall be covered by the Stormwater District. This gives you an idea. The purple line is roughly the location of the ditch. and it runs from 301 across Indian Hollow again to the Black River. And at where it goes under 301 or under Indian Hollow, the county engineer and the stormwater district had partnered previously on a project to replace a bridge. So this is continuing to build off of that other infrastructure improvements that we have made. The scope of work is, you already heard, but to clear and grub along the ditch from the west side of State Route 301 east along Gott Ditch, to remove sediment and blockages to get that water moving and to restore a flow line. We'll be using erosion control, so we will not be damaging any property nor creating issues downstream for us. And then we will restore the site. We will be working in people's yards. Some of it will be visible from rights-of-way. And so as the contractors go through and are done, they will need to make sure that they don't leave it rutted up or barren. And then we'll create positive drainage along the entire drainage way. And as I had said earlier, we had already done some work on this to improve drainage, and our cost estimate from the county engineer is $225,795. And this project was designed in-house by the county engineer in Peterswick. Here's a picture of the outlet at the Black River. You can see it is clogged full of logs. And then with that, I'm open if anyone has any questions, and also I'll be able to, you can see some other pictures where you'll see some erosion, the buildup of sediment, some fallen logs, just along this entire area. As you can see at 301, the culvert's nearly full of water. I would expect when this project is done, there will be a lot more capacity for this ditch to be able to move water and retain water within the banks.
When the water's moving towards the Black River?
Yes, it moves from west to east.
And we all know where it goes from there, right?
So,
We have
thank you.
Peter Zwick here from the engineer's office. Peter, do you have comment you'd like to add?
No, not at this time, that's sufficient.
Okay.
And
Do we have any, would you like to make public comment?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, please come up to the podium. Thank you.
State your name and address.
Please state your name and address for us.
Rick Conrad, 19800 Indian Hollow Road, Grafton. I want to talk as a landowner, but also as a township trustee. This water on 301 to the west it's very flat, and water actually changes directions. It actually goes to the east eventually, but by cleaning this ditch, it'll give a relief to that. But it's called the Curtis ditch, and we're trying to get that one cleaned as well, but we haven't been able to get everybody on board there. We're still optimistic that that's going to happen, but this is going to be a big deal for a lot of residents, not just the 9 parcels it involves.
Does which one flows into which?
The Curtis ditch would flow into the Gott and go to the Black River, but there's not too many feet down. The Curtis ditch watershed goes to the east, and I've been involved with other projects with the Curtis ditch, and they have been cleaned over the years to the east. So the stretch that isn't cleaned, if we can eventually get it cleaned, it'll have a big stretch of clean ditch that'll allow the water. It basically goes from LaGrange Township. The first phase of Curtis ditch was LaGrange Township, almost to the railroad tracks, and then it comes through our township, and we did a couple phases there, and then the last phase of Curtis ditch is right on the edge of this Gott ditch. So we tried to get it all together, but they split it off. Hopefully we'll eventually get the Curtis ditch as well, but it's definitely going to improve the outlet of the Curtis ditch that's jammed up right now.
It would be correct to say that this one, even if the Curtis ditch got cleaned, but the Gott ditch didn't, it would still be problematic.
Correct.
Okay. Any other public comment?
My name is Mike Pisanelli. I live at 19718, just on the west side of 301. And the only question I have is, are they going to be removing the sediment from underneath the box culvert on 301? Is there a way to do that?
There is, and I even got a permit from ODOT to do that. So that's
Beautiful.
right in the front of your property, and that's sorely needed.
That's my big problem, that culvert.
So Mr. Pisanelli's neighbor is also here, Mr. Kerr, and in some parts of the ditch, like on Mike's side of the west side of 301, there's, there's a foot or a foot and a half of sediment in that ODOT culvert. They don't seem to mind it, but we do. That's blocking up the water on your side of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And that first old metal pipe culvert under your U-shaped, horseshoe-shaped driveway, that's at the right elevation. Must have been built so long ago that the ditch was clean when it was built. They built it the right spot, and I don't recall the answer to what you were asking me about exactly how much sediment, but I'll call you tomorrow. I got the number, so there'll be a good foot or 2 feet of sediment removed in the parts of the ditch on either side of 301, and it varies. And I did not bring the drawings here today, so I can't speak any more specifically. But the answer is absolutely yes.
Good.
That's what delayed the project for a while. I think it'll be some form of hand digging, but they could jet it. The way I've got it spec'd out is the contractor's got to do it by any means that ODOT will allow, and they can't damage the culvert. So that leaves enough room for a smart contractor to figure out how to do it. I've also heard of the swabbing method with old tires. If it works, I'm all for it. I'll wait to see.
I've seen the tire method.
General rule of thumb is set the specifications for the end product and let the contractor figure out how to get there.
Good advice.
Okay. Do we have any other public comment?
Okay, Mr. President,
Yes?
I had a question. Are you entertaining commissioners' questions at this point?
Absolutely.
Okay, Don, I'm just putting my media hat on right here, and your slide drive said 225,000. I'm looking at the resolution, it doesn't say the price, so I'm putting the media hat on. Why doesn't it have the price in the resolution? Am I missing it? Okay, just if you could give an answer so they,
So we have it budgeted, but we are to do the improvement. We've identified the source of funds. We do have, because the board was so generous with the ARPA funds and the $6.5 million that this will be coming from, we'll be able to go out to bid, and using the engineer's estimate, so long as it falls within that parameter of what the engineer's estimate is for the project, we will then be able to award. We do need to wait, if I recall, about 5 days before we can go out to bid, just in case someone would decide to object. But the way we have set these up, we don't expect any, since everyone has already signed a voluntary easement and have demonstrated their own personal support for this project to move forward. And I can tell you, most every person or property owner along this ditch has called in the last couple of months to ask, hey, where are we at on this? And I was excited when we knew we had the meeting scheduled.
that makes perfect sense, should they ask the question, that you came to an approximate price, but it hasn't gone out to bid yet, so it's gonna be in that neighborhood,
Correct.
and then we will have that in the future,
Yes.
shortly.
My understanding is that tonight, our goal is to approve the concept for the ditch.
And to add this to
And
our
the-
drainage
The
plan.
number is merely a courtesy because we're trying to allocate the ARPA funds amongst projects, so we kind of had to have an idea what each one costs, but
Well, there is and we now have a fully designed project that's about ready to go out to bid, so Peter's been able to now give it an engineer's estimate, but we will be coming back to the board to actually award a final contract. So at this time, we're only going out to bid.
Perfect sense. Thank you for the explanation.
Timeframe?
Probably go out to bid probably the end of next week and then be out there for 4 weeks. Bids will be due. We'll need probably a week to review and then seeing on where the calendar is to the next available. So, so that's 4, 5,
Then once
6 to 7 weeks.
once we award it, how quickly can they move?
Peter, do you want to answer when you would have them done by?
I'm sorry, I have all this in the bid advertisement ready to go, and I don't recall all the numbers. I think it's a 90-day job,
Okay, that's all I was wondering, so.
and it's a little over $200,000, but I can't remember the exact number. I do a lot of estimates.
I just wanna get it done this year.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was 225, 795 is what you told me.
That's the number.
Thanks. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Is there any other commissioner comment? You're off the hook, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Great. Looks like he wants.
So motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
So the next matter, of course, is now, so there's this proposed improvement before the board, so the board can either vote to deny or vote to adopt. If the board chooses to adopt it, they'll be also making a motion to amend our general plan of drainage to include this proposed improvement, which is a mouthful. Would the board like me to repeat that? So if the board chooses to adopt the improvement, the motion would be motion to adopt the proposed improvement of Gott Ditch and amend the general plan of drainage to include the newly adopted Gott Ditch.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg.
We're finished. You're welcome. Yeah.
Okay.
Well done, Greg.
That being the only business before the board, the meeting is adjourned.
Thanks for coming in tonight.